What is finger fluttering? I don't even know. Just before we get started with today's video, I will say that it's brought to you by our friends over at Squarespace. More about them in a bit. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Brain Blaze. As always, I'm your host Simon Wams here. Danny writes me a script. The weirdest video niches on YouTube. Fact boy reads a script and reacts to it. No. We're going deeper than that. I actually came up with this idea because there's this amazing video from that it's a YouTube channel called SunnyV2. Have you ever seen those videos where it's like primitive ancient builds, building primitive man, and all of this stuff, and they build these crazy things in the jungle, like these underwater swimming pools and all this stuff, which I found compelling for about 2 videos, and then was like, okay, I get it. Never need to watch this again. But these things go absolutely popping off, and this guy just exposed the shit out of them because they're always implying that they're just one person digging, and I was like, and he was just saying how strange, and it's fake. And he was just saying what a strange YouTube video niche this is. And I was like, I wonder what else is out there. I mean, I know there's some that have grown really big, like ASMR. I still find totally bizarre. I don't know why people enjoy that. It's such a strange thing. And these people digging things. Anyway, let's get into it. Danny's probably done the research, so it's more valuable than just me chatting away. Let's go.
Shut the fuck up!
You know how it is. One moment you're on YouTube watching a video on how to stop a sentient carbon monoxide detector from beeping for the rest of eternity, and the next minute you've somehow found yourself totally absorbed in the sight of a man silently dissecting a massive tuna for about 30 minutes. Oh my god. Wait, did I send this to you as well, Danny? Because I know I sent you the example of the people making those swimming pools and stuff by hand, and I feel like the other day I was watching a video of a man dissecting, like cutting up a giant fish. I don't know if I sent it to you. If you did. If I didn't, that's actually amazing. Cutting the tuna might well be considered a euphemism in filthier quarters. Apparently, I'd never heard that before, but it's also a surprisingly popular niche of video, which does exactly what it says on the tin. Enthralled viewers seem strangely hypnotized by the sight of a talented professional breaking down a tuna or sometimes another big fish until every last little morsel has been reduced to something that you can either pop in a healthy salad or shove in a cat bowl. Speaking as someone who has difficulty in even opening a can of tuna chunks without the situation turning into a chronic bloodbath, I'll admit that I'm impressed by the skillful techniques on display as the cutter splays open the 200-pound fish and then cuts and peels and hacks and slices his way through the gruesome innards with seemingly effortless, graceful motions until there's nothing left on the blood-drenched table. It's really weird. It's such a strange thing to see, but it is also, it's like compelling. You're like, wow, look at them go slicing up that fish. YouTube's algorithm is so bizarre because sometimes I'll just see on my homepage a video that's got like 400 views and it's completely irrelevant, and I'll be like, why is this here? And another time a video come up with like 68 million views and it's just a 30-second video that looks like it was filmed in the 90s of a guy whipping a massive chain that I'll end up just watching like 7 times because I'm like, oh my god, he whips that chain. I'm also staggered as to just how big a tuna fish really is. I've no idea how they managed to squeeze such a giant creature into those tiny tin cans, but I also find it a little bewildering how close to 10 million people can watch a 30-minute video of a man butchering a tuna in almost complete silence. A lot of people in the comments suggest that watching these videos makes them feel insanely hungry, but I have to confess that staring into the gaping eye sockets of a rapidly diminishing tuna just makes me consider becoming a vegetarian again. Yeah, who the fuck goes to the abattoir and is like, man, I could use a burger right now? It's like, no. No. Perhaps again, there's something incredibly satisfying about watching a true professional briskly go about their business without any bells and whistles. Some viewers seem more interested in how the cutter goes about sharpening his ridiculously big tuna knife or how thoroughly clean he keeps his workstation. Either way, I think I've had more than my fill of tuna after one 30-minute serving of this. Danny, you watched the whole thing? I skipped through the tuna cutting video. I think the one I saw wasn't 30 minutes, but I could be mistaken. But before I get back to my YouTube tutorials on crappy carbon monoxide detectors, I need to first scale my way out of this rabbit hole of weird video niches that I've yet again fallen into like a giant soggy prawn. Brain tingles. Back in 2007, a user of the Steady Health forums by the name of Jennifer Allen posted a query to see if anyone else out there experienced brain orgasms. Apparently, every time Jennifer watched videos of space, she experienced euphoric tingling sensation in her body. What? And it turns out that she wasn't alone, but for others the actual triggers were very different. The term ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, was eventually coined in 2010. Wait, is this making people feel good? Like giving people tingly feelings? Is that why it's so popular? I genuinely didn't know that, as this sounded a bit more technical and legitimate than braingasms. For many of us, it's a bit like the feeling you get when somebody gently runs their fingertips up and down your back, or when somebody other than the knit nurse strokes your hair. This can induce a sedative tingling sensation which begins at your scalp and the back of your neck before moving down your whole body in kind of a shivering ecstasy. And this has naturally spawned the rise of ASMR video genre, in which the top earners, almost entirely female, are raking in over $1 million a year by addressing the camera and attempting to give you the tingles. Are you getting the tingles yet? This is not what people want. They want an attractive female. No future in an ASMR career for me. Quite often, the auditory and visual stimuli is nothing more than just simply whispering accompanied by professional finger fluttering. What the fuck is finger fluttering? What is finger fluttering? I don't even know. ASMR superstars like Heather Feather and Whispering Willow can spend an entire video speaking reassuring words in hushed tones, whilst occasionally reaching out their arms to reel in all your anxiety and stress and blow it away in magical puffs. This is so strange. To be honest, after watching this kind of thing for about 3 minutes, all the whispering and visual plucking just put me more on edge than ever before. Yeah, I agree. Listening to this doesn't make me relaxed. It makes me uncomfortable. And I needed to take a few bottles of horse tranquilizers to calm down again. Yeah, you know what you're guaranteed, like ASMR, not a guarantee of results. Horse tranquilizers, however, they'll put you down. They'll put you down, no worries. Yes, I'm not really putting the idea down, although we don't have any true unscientific understanding of how ASMR works. Viewers in America, Japan, South Korea seem to be reveling in the genuine spine-tingling sensations that the YouTubers create, and the videos do appear to play a part in aiding relaxation and reducing anxiety. One keen fan reported, aside from an actual orgasm, it's probably the most enjoyable sensation possible. If whispering and finger fluttering is not your cup of herbal tea, other channels provide alternative ASMR triggers such as soft crinkling of wrapping paper, hair brushing, and soup stirring. One particular popular form of ASMR is pantry organization. Literally millions of viewers tune into the sight of somebody restocking their pantry, accompanied with all of the comforting associated noises of pouring, cutting, glass clinking, lid popping, and in my case, finger slicing. Wow, my pantry would actually be tidy if I could make money from doing that. That all seems quite harmless enough, but I'm not entirely convinced by the spin-off branch of ASMR, which involves grumbling belly audio. What the fuck is this? Your host will stick a giant microphone right next to their stomach and invite you in whispered and calming tones to enjoy the beautiful, soothing sounds of a growling and gargling tummy. Gurgling tummy? What is... I've never even heard of this. This is bizarre. One host kicks off by slowly and seductively whispering, "Here, by popular request, are the sounds of my digestion system. I hope you enjoy it." Nah, mate, I'm good.
Was that a fart? I don't know. I can taste it.
That is no. That is a solid no from me. No. So let me interrupt today's video to tell you about our, long-time sponsors, friends of the show, Squarespace. What does Squarespace do? Well, you don't need me to tell you this. They help you make a website, and they help you make a website in the best possible way, because you may think, making a website is complicated. I need a new website. My website for my business was designed in 2014 by a 16-year-old, and it looks like it. It just looks dated and horrible and clunky, and I just need it refreshed. Well, great news. Pop on over to Squarespace, and you will make a website that looks like it's made for 2022, and you will be able to do it way better than someone who did this for a living 10 years ago can do it. The best way to do it is they've got a bunch of templates. You go in, there's a little quiz, they're like, what's this website for? What do you want it to do? Blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, here are our most appropriate templates for what you want. I don't know whether that's a blog or a store or... honestly, anything. Like websites is flexible. You fill it out and then you choose a beautiful template, and then the template is filled with, placeholder text and placeholder images and a few pages. You kind of delete the pages you don't want, you put your own text in, you put your own image in, you choose some colors, you add some pages. Like, I don't know, if you're a business and you like want a contact form for people to like book you or whatever, you can add a page that allows you to do that. It's all very easy. It's all kind of drag and drop, and you put things in their places, you click save, you click publish, and boom, your website is out there for the world. You shouldn't be making websites anywhere else, I think, is the simple matter of it with Squarespace. Plus, look, there's tons of extra features once you set up and running. You can, put a little email form in there. Easy. Email campaigns. Yes, you could do that. Also includes the basics, where you got analytics, so you know if people are actually seeing your site. You can see what they're up to. Of course, blogs, that kind of stuff. So, look, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/blaze, and you'll get 10% of your first purchase of a website or a domain, which honestly is just, like I say, throughout this ad, and the many, many ads before this, just don't do it anywhere else. Just do it on Squarespace, please. There's a link below. Make your life easy. Click it. Get started today. Back to today's video. Primitive technology. This is the one. Although Primitive Technology is the OG channel, which all of these guys copied, and Primitive Technology is like, as far as I'm aware, that video is talking about fully legit. And that guy is just like out in, I think he's in Australia. He's out making all this cool shit in the jungle, and then these like fake guys just took it crazy far. So, let's carry on. Even though I've looked through all the pictures and diagrams in the big book of survival tips for girls and boys several times, and I've occasionally even bothered to read some of the text, most of my mates still seem to be under the impression that I wouldn't last 5 minutes on my own in the wilderness with nothing but my quick wit and instincts to fall back upon. This probably stems from the first time I agreed to go on a camping week in the Peak District. I've been on many camping weeks in the Peak District, Danny, you and me both, and my choice of tent was a TARDIS police box children's play tent. Oh my god, I remember I did my Duke of Edinburgh gold hike, which is just like a, I don't even know what it is. It's like some scheme to get young people to do shit in the UK. And we had to spend I think it was either 5 days or a week, me and 5 mates, and we had to hike through the Peak District. You had to carry all of the shit other than water that you were going to eat and use over the week. So you got these massive backpacks. And then the 5 of us decided, we'll all take one tent and share it. And a 4-man tent will definitely be enough for like 5 17-year-old dudes. And so every night we were just crammed into this tent after walking for miles. And it was so unpleasant. And we were 17. We were on this thing and we couldn't even drink. We were like fully sober. To me as an adult, that sounds insane. Why would I go hiking and not have something to drink and sleep in a tent with 4 other dudes?
I am not gay.
I'm sure, and there was no showering. We probably stunk like beasts. Holy shit. So Danny's in his TARDIS police box children's play tent. It was the only tent I owned. I thought it might be okay if I just laid it down on its side because it was a standing up tent, but I still couldn't sleep in it, so I just stayed awake all night on bear patrol. Danny, you're in the Peak District. There are no bears, mate. If I had the skills of someone like, say, John Plant, I could have just quickly rustled up a hotel room with my bare hands. John is the choir guy from Australia who single-handedly created the Primitive Technology video genre in 2015, whilst using the other spare hand to casually knock up a chimney furnace using only badger spit and squirrel droppings. Yeah, it's amazing. This guy's the OG. I say quiet, but he's actually completely silent in his oddly compelling time-lapse tutorials in which, wearing only a pair of blue shorts and a look of grim determination, and using only natural resources found in the outdoors, he fashions the primitive tools he'll need to later build that mud hut or create that thatched workshop. He was probably able to retire from his day job of mowing lawns when his Primitive Technology channel hit over 10 million subscribers and he began earning $500,000 in annual ad revenue. Yeah, especially if he's saving all that money living in the jungle. Yeah, it's a really incredible channel. Danny, I don't know if you know, but if you turn on the subtitles, it has explanations of what's going on. Like, he doesn't talk, but the sub, at least, I haven't watched the channel in a long time, to be honest, but the subtitles used to tell you what he was up to, like detailing it, which was cool. Little, Easter egg. But the problem with such a successful and groundbreaking channel is that it's naturally going to inspire a host of crappy imitators. Primitive Technology was no exception. Within a couple of years, a whole bunch of copycat channels had sprung up from Cambodia, which appeared to be trying to outdo the original by daring to be even more ambitious. Whereas John kept everything simple and feasible, these new channels showcase the creations of secret underground houses with swimming pools, mazes, miniature water parks, hobbit houses, all knocked up in the jungle by just a couple of barefooted dudes who really know their shit. But if they really knew their shit, they'd realize that much of what they were doing was largely impossible. Yeah, as pointed out by this incredible, the dude goes into so much detail. It's just crazy. For example, as reported by the Sunny V2 channel, these guys, which is an amazing channel, these guys have a curious approach to making cement. While most of us tend to use cement, which has been manufactured via a complex and time-consuming process, which includes the grinding of several different raw materials, such as limestone and clay, into fine powders, which are then heated extensively at a precise temperature, these guys don't bother with any of that bloody fannying about. They just magically mix together mud and water, or sometimes they just appear to find ready-made concrete growing in the river. Evidence obtained by the Photo Expression channel shows drone footage in which around 10 different people are spotted working on the site. Meanwhile, a cameraman who claims to have worked on these projects has revealed that about 30% of the total work is carried out by hand by a large team of people, whilst the other 70% is all done by heavy-duty power tools and machinery. Yeah, and I have to say, when I first saw these channels, and I did watch a few of these videos, I was like, wow! It's like, I just assumed it was honest. And now when you just look back at it, it's like, obviously not. And I think also when they got started, they were less unrealistic than they are now, where they're just crazy unrealistic. But none of this matters, because they're super clickbait and people will still watch them and no one cares.
Lies. Oh, lies!
You could argue that the videos are still entertaining even if they're cheating, and many other genres employ sleight-of-hand tactics to speed up the process. During a typical 30-minute brain-lace video, you never see the other 4 hours of recorded footage in which Simon attempts to say the word effortlessly and then, "Fuck you, Danny," and then starts screaming at his pot plant in rage. the 3.5 hours of not B-roll, just like cut footage that doesn't make it in, mostly just me raging at my plants. Fucking plants. Piece of shit. But it does seem that 1 or 2 studios in Cambodia are churning out all of these faked videos under false pretenses while raking in a fortune from the original, authentic idea. Yeah, these videos are getting mad views and they must be making mad money. And I don't imagine it costs a lot of money in Cambodia to hire a bunch of dudes to go dig a thing in the jungle, right? Cambodia, I've been to Cambodia. It's not very expensive. Just one of these channels alone is estimated to be generating about $10,000 a month in ad revenue, which is not bad considering that the minimum wage in Cambodia is slowly creeping up to just $190 a month. Danny, I got some news for you, mate. I'm not sure where that $10,000 figure came from, but they are making more than that. Because I see those views. You'll see a video that's got like 30 million views, and they'll be releasing several of these a month. They are making a lot more than $10,000 a month. That is very conservative. Considering the minimum monthly wage in Cambodia is slowly creeping up to just $190 a month. So not expensive. Another big concern is that after the videos are completed, the crew just bugger off and leave all their cement bags and materials and general crap behind. You'd never catch John Plant doing any of that. If you really want to watch somebody make an authentic primitive build, stick with John and his Primitive Technology channel. Just don't expect an underwater roller coaster gymnasium ghost train with scorpions tail water slides. Crush your enemies! It's all very well watching talented people create something, but some viewers find it even more satisfying just to watch stuff getting completely destroyed. Will It Blend was a trailblazing, oh my god, I remember Will It Blends. It was from a blender company, right? And they'd always be getting a brand new iPhone and putting it in there or something, which just is crazy, but awesome. It was a trailblazing example of demolition entertainment, even if it was really just a clever marketing campaign for Blend Tech, the blender company. Over the course of an engaging series of infomercials, we watched in awe as the presenter shoved things like iPhones and camcorders and Transformers toys into a Blendtec Total blender with predictable but strangely mesmerizing results. This inspired a trend for senseless destruction with the launch of later YouTube channels which focused on cutting random objects in half with a turbo-powered water jet or melting equally random objects in industrial-strength acid. There's also the ones where they crush things in giant hydraulic presses. It's so bizarre, like these YouTube niches. But by far my favorite example, and most definitely one of my favorite of the channels we've covered today, is the Hydraulic Press channel, Danny and I. Launched in 2015 by Finnish husband and wife team Laurie and Anne Vohensilter, the dynamic duo provide fascinating insight into what exactly happens when you shove a variety of different objects right underneath a massive f***off 150-ton hydraulic press. Over the years, Laurie and Anne have attempted to crush everything from a rubber duck to a bowling ball, from a diamond to a pacemaker, from a Barbie doll to a pair of silicone boobs. The channel was actually dismissed as a bit of a failed experiment after the first 6 videos were posted to little interest, and Laurie went back to his day job of running a workshop which produces parts for hydro power plants. Holy shit, didn't know that. So he still got to play with his hydraulic press from time to time. But then one of the videos generated renewed interest when it found itself on the front page of Reddit and went viral overnight. The YouTuber's dream. The video in question attempted to answer that old chestnut, can you fold paper more than 7 times with a hydraulic press? I was getting a little worried when I started watching this one in case Laurie and Anne accidentally created something that was taller than the observable universe. We talked about that in a previous video. But they never got to the 8th fold. The paper curiously collapsed into brittle, chalk-like material before it got that far. Since then, the channel has attracted over 3 million subscribers, and Laurie only puts in a few hours a week at the workshop these days. Part of the channel's charm lies in the duo's quirky, contrasting presentation style. Laurie tends to be profoundly serious and deadpan while stating the bleeding obvious in his fragmented English. Meanwhile, Anne is more inclined to just cackle in wild amazement, in wild excitement at the backgrounds. But there's also just something weirdly fascinating about watching things getting crushed. Maybe we're closer to dogs than we think, in that when we're presented with a new toy, we're overwhelmed by an instinctive urge to just destroy it on the spot. You feel the same sense of anticipation, the dramatic build-up followed by the wave of exhilaration as the hydraulic press throws up an occasionally surprising result. I had no idea a giant roll of toilet paper would make such a thunderous noise when it explodes under the crusher, or that a pacemaker would burst into flames, or that the force from a freshly crumpled dictionary would be enough to knock out the press's blast shield and ultimately destroy poor Laurie and Anne's camera. And things get really weird in the episode in which Laurie and Anne threaten to send the universe into a recursive loop by showing what happens when a small hydraulic press is being crushed by a bigger hydraulic press, which is being crushed by an even bigger hydraulic press, which is being crushed by an even bigger hydraulic press. If it was 2014, we would call that pressception. Even the White House apparently took an interest in the channel when the Obama administration was seeking to break up the monopoly that cable companies have on manufacturing set-top boxes. Laurie claims they shipped a set-top box over to him in Finland so that he could crush it, which would apparently help highlight the issue to the American public. The White House refused to confirm the story, but they did immediately post a link to the subsequent crushing video that Laurie produced on their official Facebook page, so it does sound legit. Sadly, it still hasn't crushed the monopoly though. That was one job too big for even the 150-ton hydraulic press. Laurie and Anne have come a long way since they received their silver play button from YouTube in honor of the channel receiving its first 100,000 subscribers. And what do you think they did with this prestigious award? They crushed it to bits for our twisted entertainment. The ungrateful rascals. Yes, but you can get another one. You can get a replacement from YouTube. They're really expensive. I think it's like $500 or something, or maybe that's for the gold one. I've had one. I've had one replaced. Maybe it was $100 for the silver one, like $500 for the gold or something. And then it's like $3,000 for the diamond button, apparently. I don't have any of those. But yes, anyway, this has been an episode of Brain Blaze. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is not what people want. They want an attractive female. No future in an ASMR career for me.